It's 6 p.m. on a Friday here in Korea. Welcome to our newscast. I'm Daniel Che. Let us begin with the headlines. President Park Geun-hye offers her second public apology and seeks to clarify her ties to Choi Soon-sil, the woman at the heart of the power abuse scandal. Park adds she's willing to cooperate with investigations related to the affair. As part of the ongoing probe into the Choi case, prosecutors request an arrest warrant for former presidential secretary An Jong-bum, accusing him of abuse of authority and attempted extortion. The U.S. Forces Korea commander says THAAD will be deployed to South Korea in the first half of next year. The American missile defense base on the peninsula will be larger than the one in Guam. President Park Geun-hye offered another apology to the public while sharing her history with Choi Soon-sil, one of her closest friends who was allowed access to classified documents including presidential speeches. She also expressed willingness to cooperate with the ongoing investigation, a gesture that would have drawn a warmer reception if it didn't come 10 days after her first public apology over the shocking scandal. Song Ji-sun has our top story.
The 9-minute address began with a bow to the public, like the 90-second apology she gave last week. President Park Geun-hye said she's sorry for all the pain she has caused for the trouble related to her longtime confidant Choi Soon-sil, and said it is all her fault.
무엇으로도 국민들의 마음을 달래드리기 어렵다는 생각을 하면 내가 이러려고 대통령을 했나 하는 자괴감이 들 정도로 괴롭기만 합니다. 국민의 마음을 아프지 않게 해드리겠다는 각오로 노력해 왔는데 이렇게 정반대의 결과를 낳게 되어 가슴이 찢어지는 느낌입니다.
She also explained her relationship with the woman at the center of the controversy.
홀로 살면서 챙겨야 할 여러 개인사들을 도와줄 사람조차 마땅치 않아서 오랜 인연을 갖고 있었던 최순실 씨로부터 도움을 받게 되었고 왕래하게 되었습니다.
President Park also said she is willing to fully cooperate with an investigation.
필요하다면 저 역시 검찰의 조사에 성실하게 임할 각오이며 특별 검사에 의한 수사까지도 수용하겠습니다.
The president stressed her intent to carry out her duties as commander-in-chief, citing the challenges facing the nation's economy and security.
대통령의 임기는 유한하지만 대한민국은 영원히 계속되어야만 합니다. 더 큰 국정 혼란과 공백 상태를 막기 위해 진상 규명과 책임 추궁은 검찰에 맡기고 정부는 본연의 기능을 하루속히 회복해야만 합니다.
President Park added that the nation's growth momentum should not be stopped and related policy drives must continue. She vowed greater communication with the parliament and society, promising to hear their voices and demands. The presidential office said that the president is arranging a meeting with political party leaders, and although she did not mention it, the president has agreed to yield control of her domestic affairs to Prime Minister nominee Kim Byung-jun. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News.
The president's apology has split Korean lawmakers. Most from the ruling Saenuri called it sincere and heaped nothing but praise, especially on the willingness to be probed. The opposition, however, felt it only highlighted her will to hold on to power. Jim Young-gil fills us in on the contrasting responses.
The ruling Saenuri Party said that President Park Geun-hye had conveyed her sincerity and willingness to cooperate with the ongoing investigation into the Choi Soon-sil scandal. The president made the remarks in a nationally televised address that aired on Friday morning.
The president says she will even accept an independent counsel investigation for the case. This shows her will to prevent any recurrences.
The ruling party also called for a thorough investigation into the case that includes the president, which would make her the first sitting president in Korean history to be subject to investigation. The main opposition Democratic Party of Korea expressed its disappointment with the president's remarks, saying they were not much different from the president's previous apology.
The president is not properly assessing the situation. She doesn't understand how much paralysis she has caused within the government. She only wants to maintain her power.
The party said President Park had failed to provide realistic solutions for resolving the current political crisis and had only ignited more outrage and confusion among the public. There were mixed reactions from within the minor opposition People's Party.
It's a positive sign that the president accepted the need for a prosecutorial investigation.
The party also called on the president to withdraw her nominee for prime minister, made without opposition agreement, and urged her to meet with opposition leaders so that they can choose one together. The left-wing Justice Party said the Korean people were the victims of the scandal, not the president. And it said the only solution to the whole crisis is for the president to resign. Kim Young-git, Arirang News.
The ruling Saenuri also apologized for its failure to prevent such a big corruption scandal involving the presidential office. The party's 129 lawmakers gathered at the parliament on Friday afternoon, bowed to the public and said they share the president's errors and faults. The members vowed to cooperate with the current prosecutorial investigation and a future independent counsel investigation to get to the bottom of the case. They also asked for forgiveness and vowed to rebuild the party. Meanwhile, newly appointed Presidential Chief of Staff Han Kwang-ok attended the Assembly's House Steering Committee's meeting on Friday, where he was grilled by lawmakers on his plans for such a key role at this difficult time. The committee, which oversees the annual budget of the presidential office, decided Friday it will seek to cut the president's annual discretionary budget, which does not require a settlement, by 15%. Zooming in on the expanding investigations into the Choi Soon-sil gate, prosecutors requested another arrest warrant, this time for a key figure deeply involved in that case. Woo Si-young has the latest.
Prosecutors have filed for a warrant to arrest former presidential aide An Jong-bum amid the spiralling Choi Soon-sil scandal. The request was made around 2 p.m. on Friday, and An is charged with abuse of authority and attempted extortion. Since Friday morning, prosecutors had been questioning the former policy official, who is being held under a 48-hour emergency detention due to expire later in the day. The ex-policy secretary is suspected of having aided Choi Soon-sil, President Park Geun-hye's longtime confidant, in setting up 2 government-linked foundations and forcing large businesses to make huge contributions amounting to some $68 million. An has denied his involvement, saying that he did not know Choi very well. A Seoul court is expected to review the warrant request on Saturday afternoon. An arrest warrant for Choi Soon-sil herself was issued late Thursday night on 2 criminal charges, attempted fraud and abuse of power, though Choi is being charged as an accessory because she did not hold an official government position. Choi's attorney told reporters today that he accepts the court's decision on her arrest, but that does not mean that Choi is guilty of the accusations against her. He said he would do all he can to cooperate with the investigation, but would draw a clear line between what Choi has and has not done. Also on Friday, prosecutors confirmed that the discarded tablet PC that sparked the investigation indeed belongs to Choi, though she claims it wasn't hers. The computer had files containing presidential speeches and other official government documents. Records on the device indicate that Chung Oh-sung, another former presidential secretary, had been aware that Choi was editing the president's speeches. Prosecutors arrested him on Thursday evening on the charge of leaking state secrets. As the investigation deepens and the allegations multiply, the prosecutor's office has announced the number of investigators on the case will expand from 22 to 31. Woo Si-young, Arirang News.
Turning our attention to matters pertaining to national defense now, the commander of the U.S. Forces Korea says THAAD, the missile defense system designed to counter North Korea's nuclear threats, will be deployed to the peninsula within 8 to 10 months. Kim Hyun-bin shares with us General Vincent Brooks's remarks.
During a breakfast meeting on Friday, Vincent Brooks said that THAAD will be deployed to South Korea in the first half of next year at the earliest. He also said that the THAAD base here will be larger than the one in Guam.
You're going to see the deployment of the Terminal High Altitude Air Defense Battery. This is an alliance decision. We are committed to the deployment of the THAAD battery, and it will come within the next 8 to 10 months. That is an Army unit in a larger configuration than the one in Guam is.
The Allies agreed to deploy THAAD back in July to better counter North Korea's ever-growing nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities. The U.S. commander pointed out that North Korea has the fourth-largest arsenal of conventional weapons in the world, and emphasized that North Korea's continuous provocations are a very direct threat not only to South Korea, but also the entire region and the United States. He stressed the importance of further enhancing the alliance between Seoul and Washington to counter those threats. The regime has conducted 2 nuclear tests and over 20 ballistic missile launches this year alone, in its quest to develop a nuclear-tipped intercontinental ballistic missile. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
North Korea prioritizes its survival above all else, which could explain its erratic behavior. According to Ralph Kosa, the president of the Pacific Forum CSIS in Honolulu, Pyongyang's behavior and strategies are not completely illogical, considering the regime is driven by its desire for survival. Speaking at a forum in New York on Thursday, he explained the Hermit Kingdom should not be accepted as a nuclear-armed state, and the ideal approach would be to get the North to freeze its nuclear program first. Kosa added, despite the threats to scale back or eliminate U.S. troop presence in South Korea, Donald Trump will not likely be able to change Washington's Korean Peninsula policy if he is elected president. A port in China has seized another of Hanjin Shipping's container ships because of unpaid terminal fees of $875,000, bringing the tally of seized Hanjin ships to 5. The vessel in question, the Hanjin China, had successfully offloaded its cargo in Shanghai and was planning to head back to Busan. The terms of the seizure require that 6 to 12 crew members stay on board for vessel maintenance until the terminal fees are paid. While Hanjin can rotate the crew, it's planning to auction some of the seized vessels to raise the money. But first, Hanjin will have to get legal permission on whether it can auction off its vessels, and that won't come until early next year. The company was put under court receivership in September and had a debt of $5.5 billion as of the end of June. With fewer than 5 days to go until the big election in the United States, the race for the top office appears too close to call. Polls indicate the always controversial Donald Trump is rapidly gaining ground in battleground states and has leapfrogged Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire for the first time. Park Jong-hong has the details.
As the presidential race enters the home stretch, the competition is increasingly neck and neck. The FBI reinvestigation of Clinton's private email server has eroded her support, and several polls show many are shifting toward Donald Trump, despite controversies over his past remarks about women and allegations of unwanted sexual advances. The latest nationwide polls by the New York Times and CBS show Clinton leading Trump by 3 percentage points, 45% to 42%. As the margin of error is plus or minus 3%, it's still a statistical tie. Trump is catching up in a number of battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Colorado, North Carolina, and New Hampshire. A joint poll of New Hampshire by the Washington Post and ABC News shows Trump with a 1-point lead within the margin of error. In particular, in terms of electoral votes, pollster Real Clear Politics shows Clinton leads Trump by 226 to 180, but still falls short of the majority of 270. This means the tide could change definitively if Trump takes the leading battleground states. As President Obama joined Clinton to drum up support for her campaign once again on Thursday, Ted Cruz appeared on the trail for Trump. The Texas senator held joint events with Trump's running mate, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, to endorse Trump for president. Park Jong-hong, Arirang News.
Let's shift our focus to something more relaxing now. The annual Seoul Lantern Festival kicked off this evening. This event draws inspiration from the Hanjin River this time, with lanterns depicting its history and its beauty. Lee Ji-won takes us to the event that's set to be the biggest one held in Cheonggyecheon Stream. Up to date.
A majestic dragon guards the Taebaek mountain range, the origin of the river running through the central part of the Korean peninsula, the Han. It's just one of the more than 70 lanterns lighting up the Cheonggyecheon Stream in central Seoul on Friday, as the 2016 Seoul Lantern Festival gets underway. The event this year features several historic lanterns that take the river as their theme, from the Amsa Neolithic settlement site and the March of King Jeongjo to a depiction of the bombing of the Hangang River Bridge in 1950 to stop the North Korean invasion at the start of the Korean War.
I really like the lantern behind me. It's reminiscent of the olden days in our country, which reminds me of the old neighborhood I used to live in when I was younger.
Well, the lights are fabulous. They look stunning because I think it's beautiful and I love the stream. It's one of my favorite parts of the city.
One of the most eye-catching pieces that's not to be missed is a lantern called Hangang Story. It shows all 27 bridges crossing the river that bisects the Korean capital, along with some of the city's best-known cultural and historical attractions and monuments.
I first came to the festival 2 years ago and loved it. So I came back with my mom to show her how beautiful it is. I think there isn't another festival like this in any other country.
My friends came over from Daejeon and Ansan and we're enjoying it very much. Compared to the previous lantern festivals, there seemed to be bigger lanterns this year, like the Great Stone Face.
Welcoming more than 2.5 million visitors from in and out of the country every year, the 17-day Seoul Lantern Festival aims to top the list of staple events in Korea's calendar. 이지원, Arirang News.
That's all from me at this hour. If you're tuning in from Korea, don't go away. We have more domestic news updates straight ahead. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Devin Whiting with more of your domestic news. The growing Choi Soon-sil scandal has taken a toll on the local stock market this week. In trading this morning, the benchmark Kospi dipped below 1,980 points. It later recovered, but foreign investors appeared spooked, selling shares worth 58 billion won, or about $50 million US dollars. The Kospi closed at 1,982, down about 0.1%. Analysts see little chance of a turnaround in the near future, not on the basis of fundamentals, but due to political uncertainties front and center here at home, combined with an increased likelihood that Americans could vote next week to put Donald Trump in the White House. Meanwhile, despite a general decline in sales of foreign cars in Korea, German automaker Mercedes-Benz logged a new record last month, selling more than 6,000 vehicles. According to the Korea Automobile Importers and Distributors Association, Mercedes-Benz sold 6,400 cars in October, the best performance by a foreign brand on record, and a jump of more than 72.4% from the same month last year. Mercedes was followed closely by rival BMW, which sold 5,415 cars last month, a rise of 71.6%. They left other imports in their dust, with sales of foreign cars overall down 5.5% so far this year compared to 2015. That's partly due to a precipitous drop in sales of Audis and Volkswagens after those companies were forced to stop sales and recall models here in Korea for falsifying emissions test results. One of Korea's prized varieties of flowers is the white Forsythia. It's not only a nice addition to any garden, extracts from the plant can be used in cosmetics and for certain medicinal purposes. A local research center is working on just that. Park Se-young reports.
White Forsythia, known as 미선나무 in Korean, is a rare plant native to Korea. 5 habitats for the plant across the country have been designated as natural monuments, and 3 of them are located in Gyeongsang County in Chungcheongbuk-do Province. The county has long made an effort to protect the habitats and cultivate the rare plant. And now a local research center is beginning in earnest the development of various products using Forsythia extract. Researchers are planning to make good use of extracts from the plant's leaves and branches, which have proven to be effective at fighting infections and allergies. An 1,100 square meter factory dedicated to the production of 미선나무 products was completed earlier this month. Farms will work on growing more plants, while the factory concentrates on production and sales, contributing to the growth of the local economy. The county has also developed ties with a theme park located inside Seongbulsan Natural Forest in order to turn the 미선나무 sector into a sixth industry for the area. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
And those are some of the stories we're following right now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Korea time. Bye for now.